but I think we are even now doing better in terms of timing. Welcome. I see quite a number of my friends there. And so I'm well at home. Friends who are not just friends that you get together socially with, but friends with whom you have had business relationship, people who have supported yes. And so I want to thank all of you. And in thanking you, I thank the most those who know, and they know that they have been our great supporters over the years. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I have a brief speech, don't know whether to call it speech or just remarks, which I will go ahead and deliver very quickly. We are told that the commissioner, Lagos State Commissioner, who will be representing the governor, will join us shortly. But we thought that we should get going, and then when he comes, he will just show in and would, of course, give him the opportunity to make send the message from the governor of Lagos State. The industry or the sector has been, as a journalist, there are some key things that I look at when we talk about housing. And I am reminded during the time of Jonathan, President Jonathan, there was this man, very renowned economist, Professor Paul Collier, who used to be chief economist of the World Bank. And he's currently, perhaps any economist outside of Nigeria, I have so much respect for how knowledgeable they are of the economies of Africa. This guy is one of them. He's currently director of the Department of Applied Economics at Oxford University. He said something at a retreat organized by the federal government at the Villa those days. And he was saying, if you look at the housing deficit in Nigeria, if he were president, he would use dealing with the housing deficit as a tool to really get the Nigerian economy on its feet. And he said, for instance, Aliko Dangote was there at the hall, in the hall, and he said, why not democratize access to cement? Just make it easier. I don't want to say easy. Make it easier for Nigerians to access cement and to leverage that tool to rebuild the Nigerian economy. And that you could get very, very close to what happened in the UK in the time of Margaret Thatcher, when using council housing, they really changed the landscape of the economy of the United Kingdom. Gave people a sense of belonging. You know, for a man, there is nothing so uplifting to come to the front of your door, take the key out of your pocket, open it, and get inside. And I say to people, it is what makes a man, that you have a house of your own. And I find that people who are even more or better people who are even better in terms of their financial disposition suffer a lot more to get a house or to build a house than their peers in some other countries, simply because of the strength of the structure, the mortgage structure that exists in their country. And I say this because I know that in our midst here we're talking to different people. There are those who are involved in actual construction. There are those who are involved in funding the construction. Then there are, of course, those who are managing when the construction is completed. And then there are those who are intermediators who bring people who have money in touch with those who build houses. So across the value chain, we have people here in the hall. And my comments are directed at everybody. I think one thing that we must do in whatever sphere of influence that we have is to ensure that we are not only just talking about a mortgage industry, that we are in our own little way doing what we can do and must do to make that mortgage industry to actually happen. It's a duty for all of us, not just a duty because we are business people. I think it's a duty as human beings. We must nudge the government, influence the government, push the government, whatever it is that we can do to ensure that we actually are able to succeed. I don't know what your numbers are. Some people say housing deficit is 13 million, some say it's 17, some say it's even above 20 million units. And I asked the question, for every house, I think you probably would need 10 to 25 people from ground up to build. Multiply that by how many millions? Even if you face delivery of 1 million a year, that would deliver how many jobs? Are there statisticians here? How many jobs? 20 by 1 million is 20 million every year. And that will take you 16, 17, 20 million to complete and take away that housing deficit. But over the years, what we do is just dance around the edges, even with our best contribution. And you know what? Because we're having more babies every year, that deficit increases rather than going down, regardless of that which we do. But I think it's important, as I close, first to just commend the work that do all of us here. I was hoping that the commissioner will come so that he would hear my comments as well. Thank you for the work you do. What keeps you awake at night? What takes you out of home every morning? We can see it. Not all of us slept under the bridge last night. Yeah? Some of us slept in houses, and it is because of the work that you do. So congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. But I believe we must move beyond that. We must begin to make that stride that is important for us as a people. I read a story in the Financial Times several years ago, and this just relates to a simple policy shift in China that allowed people to get their own houses, to get their own titles. And I didn't even think about that. You know what it did? People were able to use that title to access funding to send their children abroad for the best of education. So wherever you go now in secondary school, universities in the US, in the UK, in Europe, use Chinese all over the place. It was orchestrated simply by a policy that was meant to give people houses. But what they got was more than houses. So there is a lot that we gain as a nation if we can just empower our people. And so there is a lot we lose as a nation when we fail to empower our people by continually denying them access to homes and access to titles to those homes. I thought to contextualize our meeting this morning, just to say that we have a lot of work to do. It is not just in the brick and the mortar. We need to unleash some real growth. The rebasing of our GDP exposes the extent of the contribution of the real estate to the Nigerian economy. We now know you can't play with it, you can't trifle with it. It's so pivotal, it's so core, to our national economic development. I hope together, working with you, working with the government, I can assure you, Business Day will continue to convene everybody that is important in that sector for us to continue to take the steps that we need to take until we start celebrating the triumph that we are able to achieve. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you so warmly and to say that I am not a speaker here this morning, but I was told I must give this welcome. We are, as part of our own contribution, launching our Real Estate Digest today. And copies will be delivered shortly. It is our own contribution in promoting the excellent work that you all are doing. It's our own contribution in tracking policy. It's our own contribution to advocacy, ensuring that we continue in a pace that is adequate towards our destination. And before I go, let me finally thank our supporters, those who have been so generous in ensuring that we are able to gather here this morning in comfort. Dear Fatimile, we thank you. Gravitas Investment, we thank you. Q Shelter Investment Limited, we thank you. UPDC PLC, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We are also grateful that you do not just support us by what you say, you support us with your hard-earned naira as well. We are indeed very grateful. I hope that there will be more others who will join this list of patrons for our Business Day Real Estate initiatives. We indeed are in need of your support. Once again, thank you very much for coming out here this morning. Thank you to our speakers and our panelists who have already arrived and those who are on their way coming. I think we can get the conversation started. God bless you all.
Can we give another round of applause for the publisher of Business Day Media Limited, Mr. Frank Ibu. He mentioned something very important. How many of us here would like to own a house? How many of us would like to own our own homes? Yes, I'm also raising up my hand if you didn't notice. So and in this room right here, we have everyone in the value chain. We have developers, we have quantity surveyors, we have financiers, we have investors who can make you achieve or help you, in fact, achieve that reality. So stick around and pay close attention because there's just going to be a whole lot of things will be said today and will be achieved today that you must not miss out on. All right, so we have a WhatsApp community. Business Day has a WhatsApp community that, honestly, if you're not part of, you're missing a lot out on. This is the QR code. Please, if you just have your phone with you, you can just go on WhatsApp or any app you use to scan QR codes. And join our WhatsApp community. Over there, we're having a lot of fun over there. We're sharing secrets, business ideas. We're helping businesses grow and know what is happening in their industries. Over there, I was standing and I noticed that many people still don't know my name because I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Bethel Olujobi. I'm a gentleman of the press. And I'm delighted to be your host for today. A round of applause for me. Okay, just so I don't seem selfish. A round of applause for yourselves as well for being here.